Tuesday, January the 6th, 2026. It's 9 a.m. Proof of posting, please.
The agenda was posted on Tuesday, December 30th, 2025 at 3 p.m.
Thank you. Let's pause briefly for a moment of silence, and we'll stand for the pledge to the flag.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance. Texas pledge.
Honor and protect the flag. All right. Before we get into the public comments, appreciate everyone coming. We'll pass the hat in a minute and cover electricity bills. Appreciate you coming. Appreciate any comments anyone might have. Come and speak to the court on business matters. I've received a lot of communications, as well as commissioners have as well, and phone calls, and most of them have been very nice and well presented, made their case. Only a few were a little bit unprofessional and those things, and so we won't tolerate that kind of communication. And I think the people that support a belief they want to deliver the message in a very professional way, so it's received that way as well. We allow in public comments 3 minutes. And at that point, if the 3 minutes comes up and you're trying to finish a sentence, that's okay. I'm not going to shut you off. But if you continue to go on, then stronger action will be taken. A lot of the comments will be pretty similar. So if 4 or 5 people spoke before you, it's going to say the same thing you said. Please spare us yourself as well, or I support a quick statement. It's fine. Largest crowd since before COVID, and appreciate everyone coming. What we're going to do is the public comments. The court cannot answer questions. We can listen to it, but I think it'll be helpful is you make comments or have questions that come up, then we're listening, because it is on the agenda, and when it comes up, which will be quickly after we do public comments, that the representatives from the Sheriff's Department will hear those same statements and questions, and we may have some as well, so we can be fully transparent about all activities surrounding this issue. And there could be folks in here talk about other things, which is highly unusual. But if they do, we will listen to those as well. I want to read a statement just so everybody understands the way we understand it as a court. And I'll read this, but I'll also explain it in Mark Axtell and health terms that maybe most of y'all can understand.
Thank you.
I did that for you.
I appreciate it.
All right, pursuant to Texas Senate Bill 8, the sheriff of each county that operates a jail shall request and enter into an immigration law enforcement agreement to authorize the sheriff and officers and employees to enforce federal immigration law. In mid-December of 2025, the McLennan County Sheriff's Office sent a letter of interest along with a memorandum of agreement to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. making the sheriff's office compliant with the mandate of Senate Bill 8. A copy was sent to be included on the January 6th, today's Commissioners Court agenda. All of the 287G agreements that have been signed in the state that we can find have been signed only by the law enforcement agencies, not the Commissioners Court. And that's over 200, at least 200 so far. However, since all agreements typically come before the court for approval, it would be proper for the Commissioners Court to ratify the agreement and most importantly, to document it as part of our records for the future reference here, just in the court minutes. So that's the purpose for us posting it. So, as I said, this is mandated. I have talked to members of the Sheriff's Department about why they chose certain paths that they had to pick one of three. And why that fit us here in McLennan County. And they'll explain more about that at that point in time. So, at this point, I know we had a sign-up sheet just for record-keeping purposes, but I'd open the mic, remind you it'd be 3 minutes. There should be a countdown on the screen, but I have it on my phone too. And so I welcome whoever wants to come first. Yes, sir. Good morning. And I'm sorry, state your name and your address.
Blake Burleson, 3623 Castle Avenue, Waco, Texas. Commissioners, Judge, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak this morning in support of public safety and our law enforcement local officers here. As you consider the task force model of the 287G agreement with ICE, I understand that there is a mandate to do the agreement. There is no mandate to do the task force model. Again, my name is Blake Burleson. I represent the Heart of Texas Network for Immigrant Rights, a network of 320 taxpaying residents of McLennan County. And we have several major concerns about the task force model, which would effectively deputize our deputies to carry out federal immigration enforcement. Not one deputy, but according to the memoranda, all deputies could be deputized. First, we're concerned about diverting deputies from fighting crime. Every hour that a deputy spends transporting or detaining residents for ICE is an hour not spent on stopping violent crime, drugs, and property crime. People like Sergio Garcia, who lived in Waco for 3 decades, who has American children and grandchildren, and once catered for George W. Bush, are not threats that our deputies are hired to pursue. Second, this will erode trust between law enforcement and Hispanic families in particular. Right now, at this moment, on our streets, many families are afraid. Some hesitate to take their children to school or to the doctor. If the sheriff's office, an office that many come to trust, begins arresting undocumented residents, will families still report crimes? I want you to think about that as you consider this. If an undocumented grandmother lives in a home and a crime occurs, what will the family do? Will they call the sheriff's deputies, knowing that they might arrest that grandmother and deport her? If there's only one deputy that gets training and starts arresting immigrants, do you not think the word will be out? And they will not trust the 95% of deputies that are not trained in arresting immigrants. Third, I want you to think about the damage that this could cause to the good reputation of our sheriff's office. ICE tactics in this country are heavy-handed. To put it mildly, as co-founder of the network, I receive daily and weekly reports about what's happening in our city here. Is this really what the sheriff's office wants to be known for? Fourth is the real cost to taxpayers. Counties that rush to this task force model sometimes discover large financial and legal costs. So I'll yield there. Judge, thank you for listening to it. Thank you for your time, each of you. I recognize this is a difficult endorsement that you're trying to make. I appreciate your service to this county. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burleson.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge.
Morning.
This morning I'm here to talk about the proposed data center in Northeast McLennan County. A lot of people are concerned about this for various reasons. I'm here to talk about the strain that I believe that this data center will put on the utilities in our area. Data centers like these will use anywhere, I'm not sure the exact size of the building, but on 500 acres, it could use anywhere from 500,000 to 1.5 million gallons of water per day. This data center is on 500 acres. It accounts for 0.08% of the land in McLennan County. But in 1 year, it will use 2% of the capacity of Lake Waco. Think about that. 0.08% of land will use 2% of the capacity of Lake Waco. There's a concern about the strain on the electrical utilities too. A data center like this will use 1 to 2 megawatts constantly. Okay, so that's like 1 to 2 megawatts per hour. The average home uses about 1 megawatt in a month. So this data center could use in 1 hour as much as the average home uses in 1 month. That's a tremendous strain on the electrical system. A lot of people are concerned about the electrical grid in our area. A lot of us have lived through the snowpocalypse of February 2021. We're concerned about blackouts, rolling blackouts, brownouts. The biggest thing, too, is that the strain on the water and the electrical resources will also drive up cost to all the residents living not just in Northeast McLennan County, but in all McLennan County, and even in Central Texas. So I'm here to voice the concerns of a lot of people about the strain on the utilities here locally. Now, lastly, I would say that there's a lot of talk about the economic benefits of these data centers. The boon to the economy will be short-term. It only lasts for the construction of the facility. Once that facility is done, there's really no need for any people to be there constantly. Usually these companies contract out their facility maintenance services to these facilities. So the boon will be short-term. And I know this court is considering this morning a tax abatement. I don't know what the term is going to be, but there's not going to be any realized revenue for municipalities for property taxes if this tax abatement goes through. So the boon to municipalities to be able to have more money to spend on other things will not be realized for a long, long time. Thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Zaragoza Diaz Espinosa. I live at 4100 Riata Ranch Road. Most people know me as Mito or Mito. I currently serve as the president and CEO for the Syntex Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I want to talk about the 287G program and the potential impact it'll have on the economy. We've seen in several other communities in Texas, in certain industries, construction in South Texas, agriculture in Florida, Georgia, California, meatpacking industry in the Midwest, where people have stopped coming to work regardless of their immigration status and regardless of whether or not they are here legally. They're afraid. They're afraid to be harassed. They're afraid to be detained. They're afraid to have to prove that they're here in their residency, so they stop going to work. So from a supply side, there's a lot of people who won't go to work, who'll stop coming to work. But also from a demand side, a lot of people will stop taking their children to school and daycare. They'll stop going out to eat. They'll stop doing entertainment, which is going to cause a further stress and strain on the economy. McLennan County is about 25% Hispanic or Latino, so this is going to cause a real detriment to our economy and potentially do that. Over the course of about 11 years, I've been stopped for about 3 different traffic violations, twice for speeding, once for running a stop sign. And in all 3 cases, after I've given my valid driver's license and insurance, I've been asked for my social security number. I am a gambling man. I like a good bet, and if the odds are right, I'll even like a good bad bet. But I'd probably bet $5 that none of you all have been asked for your social security number when you've been pulled over for a traffic stop. I believe that happens to me because of my name and because of the way I look. And so individuals who are citizens, my family goes back on my mom's side to when this was Mexico, and on my dad's side here in Waco, 3 generations. And we shouldn't have to prove a burden of being a resident here that other folks don't. The country was founded on the idea that all men are created equal, and if I have to prove myself just because of my name or how I look, it's inherently unequal and un-American and a violation of my constitutional and civil rights. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Good morning.
Ernie.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners, for your time and attention today. My name is Roberto Lopez, and I'm a Senior Advocacy Manager with the Texas Civil Rights Project. My address is 1201 Broadmoor Drive, and I'm coming up from Austin, Texas today. The Texas Civil Rights Project is a statewide legal advocacy organization that has been fighting for civil rights across Texas since our founding in 1990, and my comments today are regarding the 287G agreement between ICE and McLennan County Sheriff's Office. This body has already talked about SB 8 a little bit, so I'll kind of skip some of my remarks on that. As y'all know, ICE currently offers 3 cooperative models: the warrant service officer model, the jail enforcement model, and the task force model. Of the 3 models that are offered by ICE, the task force model poses the most significant risk of diminishing county law enforcement's ability to respond to urgent public safety needs, as it requires officers in the field to act as ICE agents in addition to their regular duties. Per the agreement language that the sheriff signed, the officers deputized under this model may be required to investigate members of the public for suspected immigration violations, transport immigrants to ICE facilities, and write up notices to appear or other charging documents, among other tasks that the officers don't already do. The lawmakers who drafted this legislation, SB 8, understood these issues and left it to the county sheriffs to decide how to comply with the law. During the legislative session, the bill's authors reiterated in public hearings that the warrant service officer model is the best option for counties to be able to comply with the law without adding on additional barriers or burdens to the officers in the field. And this is because the WSO model allows the county to scrutinize individuals after they've already been arrested, not before, not just anyone in the field that the officer could pull over. In addition to posing more duties on law enforcement, the task force model also creates substantial civil liability risk. In 2025 alone, over 170 U.S. citizens were detained by ICE. Immigration law is incredibly complex, and even officers whose sole responsibility it is to investigate immigrants make mistakes. With only hours of training provided by the task force model, it's easy to see how a local officer who does not do this technical work on a regular basis could make similar mistakes and risk civil lawsuits that the county would have to face. By focusing compliance in the jail, the warrant service officer model greatly reduces the risk that an officer in the field will wrongly arrest and violate an individual's civil rights. In the Waco Bridge publication, Captain Jason Barnum was quoted as saying that the task force model seems to be the least intrusive to daily operations. Local law enforcement does not need any more tasks, end quote. I'm here today to ensure that the county has the best information they need to make the best decision they can, and therefore I must say that the task force model is the most intrusive of the 3 models and most harmful to the work ahead to keep McLennan County safe. I close by urging this body not to adopt the task force model, to ask for a delay. The law does not require the county to be in compliance until December of this year. So there's time to amend and head towards the warrant service officer model.
Thanks, sir.
Honor, and members of the court. My name is Aaron Conaway. I live at 1305 Western Ridge Drive. I'm also the pastor at 7th and James Baptist Church here in town. Exodus 22:21 says, "You shall not wrong or oppress a resident alien, for you were aliens in the land of Egypt." There are over a dozen more passages just like this in the Bible. The prophets and those who are articulating the law remind the Israelites over and over and over again, don't oppress, don't abuse, don't mistreat the immigrants, the asylum seekers, the strangers among you, not only because God commands it, but also because you were once in their shoes. Friends, with the Native American population at just under 1% of the United States total, the vast majority of us come from families who were at one time also immigrants or asylum seekers or resident aliens in this great nation, and we can't forget that. I know the matter before you isn't about immigration policies specifically, but it is about how we treat the resident alien in our midst. And it is mostly about how we're going to treat our sheriff's department and the incredible women and men who serve our community in that capacity. Signing up for the task force model will not only unduly burden our sheriff's department and the staff in their department, it will also be a moral failure, I think, for our community. We'll be putting our deputies in an abysmal situation, leaving them susceptible to accusations of racial profiling. We would also almost instantly erode the trust and the good faith that our citizens hold for our sheriff's department and those who serve us there. This would irreparably diminish their ability to partner with us in the fulfillment of their duty to protect and serve. And community involvement is an essential component of law enforcement. Those relationships that help solve crimes, that help identify perpetrators, are built on trust and a shared assumption of goodwill. Making our deputies enmeshed with the ICE agents at the task force level will keep our fellow citizens from contacting them for fear that they might be detained just because of the hue of their skin or the accent in their speech. I urge that you would postpone ratification on this matter until it can be studied further, or to ask the Sheriff's Office to adopt the Warrant Service Officer Program, which I think would preserve the autonomy and trust for our deputies out in the community. Today, the Christian Church celebrates Epiphany, when the Magi came from the east to see the Holy Family. Immediately after they left, Joseph, Mary, and Jesus were forced to seek asylum in Egypt in order to stay safe as a family. May we be who God is calling us to be when Christ comes to our community in the form of asylum seekers and immigrants seeking safety and a better life. Thank you for listening.
Hello, good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
My name is Leslie Barrientos. I live at 2216 Richter Avenue. And I want to begin by acknowledging a reality we all understand. McLennan County is required by state law to enter into a 287G agreement. I'm not here to debate compliance. I'm here to urge this court to reconsider how that compliance is carried out, specifically the decision to adopt the task force model. Public safety depends on trust, and the task force model does not merely weaken that trust, it shatters it at scale. Waco is a diverse community. We have a large immigrant population. We have a large Latino population. We have international students, mixed status families, and generations of brown residents who have lived here, worked here, and raised families here for decades. This is not a small or isolated group. It is a substantial part of the community. If this policy moves forward, it does not affect a few people on the margins. It affects entire neighborhoods. That is how community erosion begins. People stop reporting crimes. People hesitate to drive. People avoid public places. Visitors think twice before passing through the county. Families pull inward. Mixed status households live in constant fear that one interaction could tear their family apart. This does not make a community safer. It makes it quieter, more isolated, and more vulnerable. The Sheriff's Department is widely respected in this county. In my community, when we see a sheriff's vehicle, we feel reassurance, not fear. That trust has been earned, which is why this decision is so troubling. It also raises a serious question. Why place that hard-earned local trust at risk by entangling it so closely with a federal agency whose credibility sits at a precipice every single day, legally, morally, and ethically? ICE is under constant scrutiny for civil rights violations, inconsistent oversight, and shifting enforcement priorities. The Sheriff's Department does not face that same credibility crisis. Its reputation is strong, its work is respected. Tying that reputation to the task force model risks in undermining years of trust building and almost overnight. immigration status is not a proxy for dangerousness, and realistically, it cannot be determined during a traffic stop or street-level encounter. There is no way to look at someone driving through McLennan County and know their immigration status. When enforcement relies on that kind of discretion, assumptions inevitably fill the gap, and that is where profiling occurs. I want to be clear about who I am. I am a U.S. citizen, and I'm proud to be Texan, and I'm proud to be American. And yet, I still carry both my driver's license and my passport with me, not for convenience, but out of fear that one form of identification may not be enough. If this is how a citizen feels, imagine how mixed status families, international students, and longtime residents feel. A decision like this would fully vacate the remaining trust I have in the county. It would make me question who these policies are truly meant to serve. I respect the Sheriff's Department, and I understand the obligation to comply with the law, but compliance does not require choosing the more harmful option. Other counties have complied through jail-based or warrant-based models that preserve a necessary separation between community policing and federal immigration enforcement. The task force model is not inevitable. It is a choice, and it is a choice that risks eroding trust across an entire community, not just among immigrants, but among anyone who values fairness, safety, and equal protection. I urge this court to reconsider the implementation choice, because once trust is lost at a scale, it's extraordinarily difficult to restore. Thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I apologize, Commissioners. I was the second speaker. I didn't state my name for the record. I am Mike Metters, 696 Beverly Cox Drive, Chalk Bluff.
Next, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Jeremy Davis, 1401 Proctor Avenue, Waco, Texas, and Precinct 2. I won't repeat what everybody's already said. I think you guys have already heard that. I would just challenge you, if your standpoint is the sheriff departments are making an independent decision, I urge you guys not to ratify that decision. We've heard the impact that it will have on our community. So if you guys don't have to do the actions that you're taking today, I ask that you don't. I do believe that this will be detrimental. I don't understand the logic behind the model that we chose, especially because we're not even being reimbursed for the cost that it will cost McLennan County to to fully comply with the task force model. Under the service model, after 48 hours in detention, you will be reimbursed. This is essentially us signing up for an unfunded mandate. So I think the fiscally responsible thing to do wouldn't be to pick this model. I just urge you to, at minimum, table this so you can do more research, so you can hear from our community, and so that we don't put our community in harm's way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Kelly McDonald. I live at 3039 Spring Valley Road in Lorena. I want to be clear at the outset, we agree that people who commit serious crimes are here illegally and should be deported. That is not the debate today. What I'm asking is that you hold the status quo, which is essentially the warrant service model, and do not rush into adopting the task force model of 278G. There is no reason to escalate immigration enforcement into our streets, and no reason to rush a decision with consequences this serious when you have until December to decide. Time allows for analysis. Time allows us to see how this plays out in other counties before we commit McLennan County to an open-ended program like the task force model. Right now, criminals with immigration violations are already being picked up and transferred to ICE. That process is already working and is equal to the warrant service model. What we see on the ground with the immigrant families that I work directly with, many of the people that are being picked up have no criminal history at all, and some came here legally with no lapse in legal status, being held in deplorable conditions at overcrowded ICE detention facilities for weeks or months at a time. The trauma is severe, especially for children. We have had to arrange emergency counseling for kids who suddenly lost a parent with no idea how long it will be before they see them again. We've seen a 15-year-old University High School student picked up at the bus stop on his way to school, separated from his family without warning, and unaccounted for several days. We do not need more of that kind of ICE activity here, and we do not need even one of our highly respected deputies affiliated with it. What we do every day is help families do the right thing. Navigating voluntary departure, a complex 30-day process involving multiple online government forms, in-person consulate visits in Dallas and Houston, and international travel arrangements. We're organizing family preparedness workshops so families can prepare for their upcoming immigration hearings, most without the ability to afford an attorney, but wanting to do the right thing in the right way. We at the Heart of Texas Network for Immigrant Rights are working with the local immigrant community constructively to support compliance with the law while minimizing harm. This is working. Please hold the status quo with the warrant service model. At the very least, postpone this decision and do not ratify the task force model today. Thank you.
Come on. Anybody else? Okay. Anyone else to speak on any other issue? All right. Thank you. I'm gonna go, first of all, just to get the consent agenda out of the way. Well, we have some proclamations and resolutions, but I think so everyone can kind of get back to what they're doing. I'm gonna hold those and go to the item, is that G14, Dustin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'd like to ask representatives from the Sheriff's Department to come forward and address actions. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, if y'all would introduce yourself and
I'm Jason Barnum, Captain, McLennan County Sheriff's Office over Criminal Investigations Division.
Cody Blossman, Chief Deputy with the McLennan County Sheriff's Office.
thank you for coming.
All right, I guess we prepared a statement for the 287G program.
Okay.
So honorable judge, members of the Commissioners Court, for the record, we'd like to provide a brief statement regarding McLennan County Sheriff's Office participation in the federal 287G program. Under current Texas law, Sheriff's Office in counties with a population over 100,000 are required to participate in the 287G program. McLennan County meets and exceeds this population threshold. In addition, State Senate Bill 8, which takes effect obviously January 1st of 2026, requires McLennan County Sheriff's Office to enter into 287G agreement with the U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement as it's the condition of the new law. On December 12th, 2025, McLennan County Sheriff's Office submitted a letter of interest and a memorandum of agreement as required to participate in the 287G program, which is now mandated to join. After reviewing available options, the Sheriff's Office elected to participate in the task force model. It allows deputies to exercise limited immigration enforcement authority while performing their routine law enforcement duties. Participation in the program requires designated McLennan County Sheriff's Office deputies to complete a 40-hour online course with the U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement. Deputies may only exercise this limited authority after completing the required training and only as directed by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This approach allows McLennan County Sheriff's Office to comply with state law while continuing to focus on the primary mission of public safety and service to the residents of McLennan County. This statement is to provide, is provided to inform the court and to ensure transparency regarding compliance with Texas law in our operational decisions. Thank you.
And I would just like to say that I'm very appreciative of some of the positive comments that were made about the service the sheriff's office gives to the community. And this decision was based upon the resources we have at the sheriff's office and McLennan County. And the intention is not to get away from any of the important duties that the sheriff's office is already doing regarding fighting violent crime.
If you adopted the jail model, right now, that process is, if I'm correct in thinking that process is already happening through ICE?
Yes, Judge. We have a local ICE office here in Waco, and the duties that would be carried out by sheriff's office employees or jailers are already being carried out by ICE employees right now in our jail.
So there was a lot of mentions of the warrant model.
Yes.
Is the local ICE currently doing that right now?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
If you chose the warrant model, which I've looked at that too, just like I know y'all have did a lot of research, I've spent hours on this. We're shorthanded in the jail now, and it's a tough situation to hire jailers, to keep staff. And I know the argument that other people have about the task force, but what would that do as far as the detrimental to the staff in the jail if we chose the warrant model?
We would have to create another position to perform those duties.
And on the jail model, ICE would just step away, and so we'd have to pick up their duties and the cost of doing that?
I can't speculate what
Okay.
ICE may do there, but it would require us to perform duties at the jail that we are currently not doing, and we would have to staff that position.
What, under this task force model that y'all have entered into with Homeland Security or ICE or whomever, how many deputies do you plan on sending through this course?
We've identified one employee, one investigator.
Just one?
Yes, sir, and then Jason Barnum, the supervisor over the program, intends to go through the training as well.
So you don't intend for your field deputies out doing everyday work to go through the program?
It's hard to speculate what would come in the future. Currently, right now, we plan on participating in the agreement with certifying one deputy and then, I guess, the
One deputy,
supervisor.
one supervisor?
Yes, sir.
And that deputy's not on patrol.
No, sir.
Are they in the jail?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they're already in the jail.
So that deputy is not gonna be out in a marked unit up and down the roads enforcing ICE.
That is correct, sir.
And I think there's a task force most people associate it with the narcotics task force. And I know a lot of the stuff on the media is publicized that turn out there weren't even ICE raids, that they were doing other enforcement operations. So task force may be a harsh word for it. All it allows is a deputy or deputy investigator that goes through this to have limited enforcement. They have to contact local ICE. From there, they make the determination if the person needs to be under an immigration detainer. They're not just going out rounding up people or questioning people. It's during their normal courses of business in law enforcement, whether it's a traffic stop, whether it's a call for service. And I think they think they're going to send a bunch of deputies out with ICE and just do these mass raids, which there hasn't been any in McLennan County that we're aware of, speaking to the ICE supervisors, and there's none planned. It's just for deputies to have another tool if they come across something that they don't have an arrestable offense. Clearly, if they're arrested for a criminal offense under Texas law, they will go to our jail, and then ICE will determine if they have an immigration detainer on them. But this is just another tool for our deputies to have, because regardless of feelings and thoughts, immigration laws are still against the law to violate in this country, just like every other country in the United States.
The judge mentioned that over 200 letters have been sent in from the sheriffs. Are y'all-
That's what our research shows, yeah.
There's 254 counties in Texas, and there's 244 jails. Is that right?
That sounds correct.
Yeah. Well, McLennan County, whether people know it or not, we're the 7th largest jail in the state of Texas now. So we have a lot of business at the jail. And I did visit as much as I could to try to see what the difference is. And, you know, so.
Real quickly, if I could, a key part to this from our law enforcement side and also from our community is going to be education and communication. And we have to be willing to do that. I'm just going to ask a few brief questions off concerns that I heard this morning. And I think it's only fair you get to address some of the concerns that our citizens have. One being that there was concern all deputies will be ICE agents.
No, that would require us to take them off duty, or not off duty, but to get 40 hours of training, which is a week. So it'll be a limited number of deputies that will be certified.
Okay.
Yeah, Commissioner,
Yes, sir.
the answer is no. We strive for operations to continue the same way that they've continued for years with the sheriff's office.
Okay. Thank you. Another concern, I certainly understand it, is do we typically in an encounter ask for social security numbers? Is that a normal process for us?
I know at one time they used to be on citations. I haven't written a citation in many years. So I couldn't tell you for sure in my 26 years in law enforcement. At one time on traffic stops, it was normal. Whether it is today, I haven't written a ticket in some years to tell you for sure.
Probably what I'm hearing is if it's mandated by the citation itself, you do. If it's not, you don't.
And I can't confirm it. At one time, I know it was a standard procedure.
Another concern was about law enforcement losing trust in the Hispanic community. Would you like to address that?
I don't believe we would. We're not going out just looking for people of Hispanic descent to check to see their immigration status. To me, it's too far stretching. We still adhere to racial profiling laws. The 287G program doesn't give us a free pass
Quickly,
to
how
target
often,
any group.
How often do we have to turn reports in with regards to racial
As of right
profiling?
now, I have no idea of what reports we have to turn in. Oh, racial profiling?
Yes, racial profiling.
Oh, that's annual.
There's regular internal reports, and then there's racial profiling reports that are submitted annually.
And how have our reports typically been received?
Oh, there's not been any racial profiling at the sheriff's office.
Okay. Thank you for that. Concerns that we will not be reimbursed. Something totally out of our hands, most likely. It's a mandate that we participate. Is there a chance we may not be reimbursed? We have that quite often in other issues on the court, not just in this one here. So, unfunded mandates, we've all heard of them and we've all experienced them. But I did appreciate that concern.
And to speak to
Yes,
that concern, with taxpayer dollars funding deputies to carry out the mission, required by the sheriff's office to do, this option is the only option that would not require us to create a new position to uphold the duties of the 287G agreement.
And for those here, we beat down the sheriff's office in the last budget over full-time head count. So that's probably why it's very sensitive. And beat down might have been a strong word, but you might have felt that way when you left.
Yeah,
but
you
we-
don't normally beat down somebody that carries a gun, so.
And then lastly, a concern, and I understand, and I have no verification one way or the other, but a child was picked up on the streets at a bus stop. That doesn't sound like something we would involve ourselves in.
I have no knowledge of that particular case. Typically, if you're dealing with a juvenile, you have to notify the school parents whenever you come across them, as well as I'm not sure if it was a strictly federal ICE deal. I have no knowledge of that.
Okay. Well, well done. I appreciate your being honest and addressing the concerns that our constituents have. That's it, Judge. That's all I have.
You have something?
Well, I do, Judge, but go ahead if you've got.
Well, I was just, so if you choose, let's say that what you have chosen the task force model, is there any option to, as you get into this, that you can change which option you choose? In other words, you decide this was not a good path to go, and you decide, do you have any knowledge of knowing whether you can change to another model or not?
It's my understanding that we can do that. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's my understanding also.
So, I mean, you're gonna do something because you're mandated to do it, to choose one of them. And so it would make sense to logically look at how the process is working. And if another choice was better, for many reasons, you could do that.
That would be no different than any other sheriff's office operation. Implement a program, evaluate it, make the adjustments as needed, with the stakeholders' input. Just like participating in any multi-jurisdictional operation, the sheriff's office evaluates it case by case and what we can participate in, what resources are available. And so this program, yes, would be under the same evaluation and involvement as any other program, Judge.
And y'all have always communicated with the court well, so in this case, you would communicate of any change or anything that might happen, even though the agreements between the local law enforcement agency and the federal, just to keep us knowledgeable so we can address the public when it's necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, go ahead, and I have a couple other things.
That's okay. I think all of our offices yesterday fielded lots of phone calls. I appreciate the phone calls and the information that was shared. And what I got from a lot of the phone calls yesterday was what I think was a lot of misinformation out in the public. And that concerns me. It didn't come from y'all. I'm just saying it was out there. For instance, they're going to end up with hundreds of ICE agents on the streets in McLennan County and in Waco. We're going to turn our deputies into ICE agents, and we won't have time to protect the county. Those are things we heard yesterday. We're going to violate people's civil rights. Those were comments made in phone calls yesterday. But I think the one that bothered me the most was that the Commissioner's Court is the one making this decision.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, we're, I won't say on the outside, but this isn't a decision that was made by any elected official sitting here. It was made by an elected official of McLennan County. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is elected officials are sovereign in their own right. And we don't control that. And Senate Bill 8 did not give us, it excluded county government. It excluded commissioners from making this decision. So basically, we're simply here today, and I think as the judge said, maybe if it's voted if it's voted on, it won't be whether or not we accept or don't accept. We don't have any say in what of the three models are chosen. That's entirely up to the elected official. What we're doing is putting it in the minutes for posterity, basically.
That's it.
So that it'll be recorded in history. And that's all we're doing today, whether or not anything else happens if we vote to do that. And so I think a lot of people don't understand that this is an office, it's not a department. If it was a department, we'd have some say on it. But because it's an elected official, just like we don't tell a tax assessor collector what decisions he can make or can't make, we don't tell a county court at law judge what decisions to render or not to render, because those are all elected officials, just like we are elected officials. And Senate Bill 8 explicitly excluded county commissioners from having any say in this. It's a direct correspondence, direct communication between an elected official, sheriff's office, and ICE.
Elected officials answer to the voters. And so that's why it's always important, just future reference, that you always work hard to get your person elected and be sure they're qualified for the job. So any issue that the public may have in regard to this would be addressed between the public and the sheriff's department. No matter what decision we made, whether to ratify it or defer it or whatever, makes no difference. This deal, that train has left the station. And, I would make a motion that we go ahead and ratify the actions to get it on to memorialize it in the documentation and minutes of the Commissioners Court.
I'd second that.
All right, have a motion second. Is there any other discussion by the court?
Judge, I would like to say one other thing with regards to,
No, go ahead, you go ahead.
with regards to what the chief deputy said, I too noticed that there were very kind and professional comments made about how our sheriff's department operates.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. So what I'm looking at this as an opportunity for us maybe to grow together, for maybe you guys to understand what they do a little better, and for them to take the time to share with you why they do what they do, how they do what they do. And so I would hope that we'd all look at this as not a blight, but an opportunity.
Commissioner Jones, I'm sorry, would you like, you have a comment?
My only, should it be a motion to ratify or a motion to record?
Dustin, do you want to answer that?
Yes, sir. So if you go back and read 287G, it actually speaks about the governing body. So as in that statement that Judge read earlier, that it's probably the most prudent for the Commissioners Court to ratify that agreement.
Fine.
All right, thank you. Any other comments?
I certainly don't often disagree, and I'm not disagreeing with Dustin at all here, and I understand where he's coming from. But I also know that the presidential executive order and Senate Bill 8 removed us from that being a subdivision who participated in it and placed it solely in the hands of law enforcement. So whether you call it ratify or memorialize or record it, it's all the same difference to me. All we're doing is putting it in the minutes for historical purposes.
Yes, sir. Any other comments? Not call for a vote?
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Judge Felton,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Perry.
Aye.
Pass. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's have a 5-minute recess. Okay, right quick, on the consent agenda, I've recommended pulls of HR matter for the DA's office and HR matter for Constable Precinct 5. Is there any other pulls recommended by the court? If not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of the pulls previously mentioned?
So moved.
Second.
Have motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, Dustin, you want to read these proclamations into the record?
Yes, sir, Judge. Give me 1 second.
And I'd like to ask Judge Minkowski and Judge Bennett to come forward.
So this is a specialty court, family treatment court resolution, whereas the Commissioners Court of McLennan County finds it in the best interest of the citizens of McLennan County that the family treatment court be established as family treatment court program / specialty court pursuant to Texas Government Code Chapter 121 under former law. And whereas the Commissioners Court recognizes that this court has been or will be operational as of the first day of September 2026, now therefore be it resolved that the Commissioners Court does authorize the establishment of the McLennan County Family Treatment Court as a specialty court to enable it to provide services needed by the citizens of our county. Judge?
All right, thank you. All right, welcome. And any comments y'all would like to add to this?
I had sent kind of a little snapshot. I don't know if y'all have had a chance to look at it. I'll answer any questions, but basically McLennan County has 3 great specialty courts that have been in an operation. And I want to take that piece to the family CPS court so that we can not only help the individuals that are participants, but also their children and their families.
Right.
I'd support Judge Minkowski fully in this process. I can tell you that for 15 years, when I was doing these CPS cases, I was astounded by how much, particularly drug addiction and abuse, impacted the lives of these families. And I think this is an opportunity that we can take advantage of to make a difference in these children's and families' lives. And I would urge the court to adopt this resolution.
All right, thank you. And I will say that I don't think a lot of people realize what an important move it was several years ago when we started creating specialty courts and how they could really scope in on specific issues pertaining to the folks that come before those courts. And we're always open to suggesting. Those ideas come from judges and from some. And I remember Josh Booterode helped us create the first Veterans Court, and Steve Hernandez was involved in the creation of it as well. So I think that's a great thing and should be recognized. And so
I will also point out, as we told Judge Strother just a minute ago, we're not asking for any money today.
Well,
be glad when Jim
You want to, is there any caveat to that, Judge, like initially?
I don't want to get into
You don't wanna push
caveats
that,
right
right?
now. That's right.
Jim just took a whole page and set it aside.
No, I'll say this. I think it's another piece to the puzzle to solving issues. I think it's a great step to take.
Great.
Judges, following up on that, I love how you're weaving your specialties and your thoughts and your ideas from one court to another. That's impressive, and that's when we're going to start seeing results, when you guys start doing that. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the establishment of the McLennan County Family Treatment Court as a specialty court to provide services through a family treatment court program?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Good to see you guys.
Okay, Dustin?
Yes, sir. Judge, if we could go to item G13, this is ratification of a section 381.004 incentive agreement, sales tax grant and tax abatement agreement for property tax abatement in joinder with the city of Lacey Lakeview for incentives and tax abatement to attract a business. I'd like to call on Chris.
Morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year to everyone.
Well, thank you.
I've had a busy morning, haven't you?
Yeah.
All right. What you have before you is ratification of a resolution in partnership with the City of Lacey Lakeview and also with Lacetex AOS Partners LLC, who is acquiring the former Kmart facility in Lacey Lakeview. That has been vacant from a retail operation for a number of years. It's been used for a call center on multiple occasions, but since COVID, that type of business has really changed, and you don't see a lot of call center operations that are happening here. So this is a great opportunity to bring a new retailer back into that facility and revitalize that very important intersection at Old Dallas Highway and Loop 340 in the interstate. What's been proposed is a 10-year agreement both on property and sales tax participation from the county side of it. And Lacey Lakeview is doing the same thing. On the property tax side, it is a 10-year agreement on new value, real property new value, at 80% of reimbursement back to Lacetex for the first 5 years, and then 65% for the second 5 years. And then the sales tax side of it as well is 10 years at 80% and 65%, the same 5-year tranches, with a total grant amount on the sales tax side not to exceed $640,000 on the county's portion of that. So there is a cap over time, but the developer is also incentivized, because this is a 10-year agreement, to get a retailer in there as quickly as possible that will be generating sales tax so that they can recoup that $640,000 as quickly as possible. And so this is a great project. We're glad to be working with Lacey Lakeview on this, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. We did some analysis on it as well. It does have a positive return on investment back to the county, as well as to Lacey Lakeview.
And they're not disclosing what retailer will go in there?
No, sir, they've not disclosed that yet. And what it does, that's a fairly large campus.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
And so there's the main building, and then there are also opportunities for additional retailers to go into the parking area, additional lots. If those are developed out, they would contribute towards that sales tax number, but they would not have individual agreements with them.
So that's the bonus. I mean,
Yeah.
our interest in Commissioner Jones will have a comment too, I'm sure, but he and I had met with Lacey Lakeview, so our interest in helping Lacey Lakeview was one thing. The other thing is take a piece of property that should be a good retail location, just hadn't been utilized a long time, get with a 10-year deal, and that the owner or developer, that gives them a step up to start developing the rest of the property, which we would get full benefit of the property tax and the sales tax that come from those. And
Correct.
more than likely, those would be retail type businesses
Yes,
as
sir.
well.
So we would look at the current value of the building and only look at the reimbursement towards the new value on top of the baseline that's been established.
The little strip mall that's out in front now, is that part of that property?
It's part of the property, but it's not, it would be new things that go in related to that.
Yeah. Mr. Jones, that's your area. You have any comments?
Not anymore.
Well, it is not my area anymore, but before, for a long time, it has been my area, and I'm very proud that it was my area.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I drive by this area nearly every day, sometimes a couple times, and I think this will be a great catalyst for development in that area. And this is the Kmart building has been underutilized, in my opinion, for many years, and this will really give a shot in the arm to the Lacey Lakeview economy, in my opinion.
Thank you. All right, Commissioner Wilson.
Yeah, I agree. I was there.
So
when
I would make a motion.
That's good.
All right, there's a motion to approve the agreement.
Second.
Okay, have a second. Any questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
No, that was just great. I shopped there when I was a kid and grew up in the, lived in the Northcrest area for a little while, and it'd be great to have that area growing up again, and it's growing around there and getting cleaned up, and that would be a great asset to the community.
All right, thank you.
And quickly, this has nothing to do with the unrelated. This has nothing to do with the data park.
Yeah, right.
Yes, correct.
Correct.
One question, one comment.
All right.
And not just this specific agreement. Chris, what guarantees are built into these that these will last past the date of the incentives?
Well, the lease term of the tenant exceeds the term of the agreement.
Okay.
And also, this is performance-based, and so they don't get any dollars up front. It's only based off of the performance of the tenant and of the developer to do what they've said they're going to do.
And my only comment would be, we need more traffic in that area.
Which type of traffic are you talking about?
The kind that backs up way down Lakeshore Drive.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Pass.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, and while we have Chris, if we could go to item H1, this is regarding program project agreement with Brazos River Ventures LLC and Electrolit Manufacturing authorization of payment request. Chris?
Well, we have a payment request, as Dustin mentioned, for Electrolit and Brazos River Ventures LLC through the Waco McLennan County Economic Development Corporation. Y'all had approved a grant totaling $3 million to reimburse the company for infrastructure improvements related to their new 600,000 square foot manufacturing operation related to their electrical infrastructure and their natural gas infrastructure. Those two projects have been completed, and the company has provided the required documentation from Atmos and Encore of the completion of the work, the payment that they've already made in that. So this is simply a reimbursement per the agreement. And the county's portion of which is $1.5 million.
Okay. Any questions or comments? All right, I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
A motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, Dustin.
Judge, is it okay to keep jumping around so we can let some of the visitors present their items?
Absolutely.
All right, so I believe Josh Teetons is still in the courtroom, and we have 3 items for him. G3 is authorization of subscriber agreement with TransUnion Risk and Alternative Data Solutions for services for criminal district attorney. And I'm going to go ahead and read the other 2 in as well. G6 is authorization of services agreement with Texas A&M University Health Science Center for a School of Nursing Evaluation and Training Program with Criminal District Attorney. And then G7 is authorization of agreement with Limestone Laboratories for laboratory services for McLennan County Specialty Courts. Josh?
Happy to answer any questions about those topics. I can tell you that the lab is specifically doing drug tests for our specialty courts. We're using asset forfeiture funds to cover that. It's a fantastic lab that we actually are hoping to integrate into some more things here in our county and throughout the state. We have regular meetings with them, but something that is unique about their lab tests, 2 things. In fact, you can do it by saliva. And so there's no need for people to be watching you in and out of the bathroom, things of that nature. No blood draws are required. It's all saliva. And the second thing is it can test very specifically for mental health medications. And so as part of the mental health specialty court, if somebody has been ordered to take a certain type of medication, if they are not following that order, we're able to check that. So that's something that we're very excited to work with the specialty courts on. The Texas A&M nursing program, that is actually a grant that they provide payment to us. So it's actually not only a benefit to our prosecutors and those future sane or safe nurses to be trained in a mock trial scenario with our folks in the office. So it's a two-way training opportunity, but they are actually giving us money to do that.
Okay.
Thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Come a long way.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
haven't we? Yeah. Judge, if I could group those, my motion would be to approve G3, G6, and G7. Is that correct, Dustin?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll
We have a
second
motion.
that.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, there's a motion, second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, under item G12, this is authorization of service agreement and sales order form with CTWP for copier printer for the district clerk's office. Is Judge Strother or Conley?
Judge
Strother's
Rogers
here.
Morning, Judge.
Oh, Judge.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you all for listening to us today. Ralph Stroh, the district clerk, in my current job. I can't seem to keep a job around here. The primary printer that we use to print all the jury summons has had an end-of-life experience and cannot be resuscitated. So we're asking for y'all to approve the new one. I think Conley's on, Litton is on also.
Conley, do you have any comments?
No, sir. We knew that this was coming. We purchased the other end-of-life printer last year. We thought we were going to be able to get another year out of this, and an entire compartment went kaput. So
Yeah.
we really.
You guys in mourning today?
Well, I'll tell you what, if we want to get any jurors in, we're going to have to get a new one, so.
That's the alternative, huh?
Okay, any questions?
So Judge, are we approving G12 and J2A2 as a one-time, Dustin, or Judge, or how, or is that, how does that need to work? Because it goes with the.
They go together, Commissioner, you're right. So that is fine if
Okay.
you would like to do that.
Okay. That would be my motion to approve G12 and J2A2.
Second?
All right, we have a motion, second. Any other discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, if we could go to item N3, this is discussion and/or action regarding creation of text pool prime account group for McLennan County bail bond security, including authorization of participation agreement and related resolution, authorizing participation in the text pool investment pools and designated authorized representatives. I'd like to call on Bill Hill.
What was the agenda number?
N3.
M3?
N. Nora 3.
No, okay, gotcha.
Good morning. This is an item that the court has approved for other purposes several times. TextPool has two funds. One of them is agencies and treasuries, and the other one is a commercial paper-based fund. The commercial paper-based fund pays a few basis points more. They're both AAA-rated funds, very safe. This particular fund, the approval that I'm requesting today, does not contain county money. This is money that the bail bondsman puts up to collateralize their bail bonding activities. Years ago, we would just use certificates of deposit, but those became more difficult to obtain. Some of the banks, their legal requirements were such that we just couldn't make it happen. And so I was aware that some other counties were using TextPool for this purpose. And so I give the bondsman an option. They can either try to do the CDs or we can use TextPool. This particular bondsman came in, and I told him, well, we got two pools. We've got the agencies and treasuries, and we've got the commercial paper. The commercial paper pays a few basis points more. Well, he said he wanted the commercial paper. Well, I looked, well, we couldn't put him in the commercial paper because we weren't signed up. And so, we didn't have the agreement in place. And so, well, this puts that agreement in place, and so that the bail bondsman will have that option.
Give you another option.
The county has quite a bit of money invested in this particular fund right now, $5 million. I looked back to November, $5 million in pool cash and $60 million in bond funds that were invested in this particular fund. So, I mean, it's a safe fund. I have confidence in it. So, just I recommend approval.
All right, I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
Motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, if we could go to item L2, this is regarding the Texas Department of Transportation Selective Traffic Enforcement Program STEP Grant, authorization of grant application and related resolution forms. I'd like to call on Captain Davenport and Georgia Ruiz.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, how are y'all?
Good, how are you?
We've been waiting on this, Jordan.
We are asking for approval to apply for the FY27 STEP Comp Grant awarded through TxDOT. The FY27 TxDOT STEP Grant is state funding that helps us put extra traffic enforcement where crashes are happening most. It focuses on things like speeding, impaired driving, and seatbelt use to prevent serious accidents. TxDOT pays for the majority of the cost. We will use our existing officers and equipment, and the county's part is in-kind only. So there's no new cash, no new hires, and very little risk to the county. This grant brings state money to our county to reduce crashes, save lives, and offset local enforcement costs at little to no burden to the county budget. Grant timeline is from October 1st, 2026 through September 30th, 2027. This grant requires a 15% match of the total budget, and the match is in kind using resources like administrative support.
My county grant.
Yeah. Do you see any issues us hitting the 15% match through those in-kind services?
No, sir. We've gone through preliminary meetings already, and we will hit those numbers.
Motion to approve.
Second. Oh, go ahead. Oh, you go ahead.
We are fast.
Well, there'll be a
We have a
question.
motion second, so it's time for any comments.
You're perfect timing.
So is this gonna be off, these deputies are gonna be off duty and then they're gonna put in for these positions?
Yes, sir.
And then y'all will pick where they need to go, right?
So we had a retired Trooper Carlisle in the office yesterday, actually, and started working on the zones, and so
Yeah,
I don't know how familiar you are with how you build those. They take TxDOT data.
Right.
We've had
Have we ever done this?
county
Have we ever done this
The
before?
county has never applied for the grant. You know, several agencies in the county have.
It was always a big deal when the highway patrol, I
Yes, sir.
mean, that was our Christmas money. I hate to say that back in the day, but it was a great enforcement, tool and it opened up, especially the men and women, the sheriff's department that want to do some more traffic. Instead of going to call, they can do traffic enforcement, and it opens up, and you catch a lot of bad guys too. It's not just seatbelts and speeders and drunks, you catch a lot of bad guys on traffic enforcement.
Bad guys out there not wearing their seatbelts.
Exactly.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, we have a motion and a second, any other questions or comments? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
All right, if we go to item F2, this is authorization of 10X election desk modules quote from 10X Software Solutions for electronic poll books for elections. I'd like to call on Jared.
Morning, everyone. So yeah, what we're doing here is we're going to be purchasing 20 more poll books, backup and as needed. We're going to be using Chapter 19 money, which is from the state of Texas, so there won't be any county money spent on this purchase. I just need to get this approved so we can get the purchase going and get the equipment here.
All right, any questions for Jared?
What will that give us total, Jared?
70.
Is that the number you're shooting for, or what's your
Yes.
goal?
Yes, 70.
70? Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and I believe Dr. Lear's in court, is that correct?
He is.
Yes, he is.
If so, if we could go to item N1, approval of the filing of a lawsuit against Misty Harmon by the county and/or the Tawakona Creek Water Improvement District for a violation of easement on a dam site. So what this would do is give Haley Olson the authority to file this suit. The defendant had built a fence on top of a dam, had been notified multiple times to remove it. So Dr. Lear, is there anything that you would like to add?
We appreciate the county's consideration of this. It will allow us to facilitate protection of the dam out close to the new landfill. It's going to be an important resource for the community.
All right. I'll make a motion.
This is an Axtell, right? We're talking about off 84?
That is correct.
I'll make a motion. We approve that request.
Second? Okay, go ahead.
Made and seconded. Any other discussion? No other discussion. Oh,
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Will this suit also allow us to recoup court cost? Dustin?
I believe, yes, sir. It's all reasonable, necessary attorney fees, court cost, and then any other relief that which we are entitled to. So,
Very
yes,
good.
sir.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Thank you. Appreciate your consideration.
Sure. All right, Dustin.
All right, if we can now go back to those pulls from the consent agenda. We did approve the consent agenda, correct?
Yes, sir.
We did.
Okay, so we can go to E3A. This is an HR matter for the DA's office. Like to call on Anna.
E.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I have here a request from the district attorney's office for a temporary, full-time ADA Tier 1 position. So they have an employee who's out on a military leave that's expected to last through the end of this year. And so they're requesting this position in order to support the misdemeanor docket that they were supporting. The request is, again, for an ADA, or an Assistant District Attorney, Level 1. It's in the Core 14 pay grade. And the budgeted salary is $80,000, which is less than the position that's currently not being used by this person out on military leave. So the cost should offset. And I will say, though, that position does exceed what we normally define as a temporary position, which is 6 months, because of the length of the military leave. And because of that, or subsequent to that, it will be eligible for benefits. So that's kind of the main difference that you'll see in this request compared to other similar requests where we're requesting a position to cover someone's leave. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
Why does my agenda item say pull this?
We
For
pulled it from the
discussion.
consent agenda approval so we could discuss it.
Oh, okay, that was on, okay, I
Yeah.
thought we were pulling it, not voting on it. Okay, I see what
We're
you're saying.
voting on it.
Okay, that makes
So-
more sense.
And there's no one cross-trained to pick up these duties.
It's not necessarily about cross-training, it's the volume. So the current staff already have their own caseload, so it's just a body to handle the volume that's not being attended to because of this person out on military leave.
And Anna, go about military leave. Are we still paying that person?
So they have actually decided, so when someone goes out on military leave, they have the option to forego their PTO, and they have opted to do that. And so that means that their budget isn't being used.
Okay.
That's where I mentioned that it's an offset cost.
Budget zero, yeah.
Okay, I understand now.
So the salary's a little less, and we're gonna pay benefits, but it still should be less.
It should be close to zeroing out, yeah.
The position that's currently being held by that person out on military leave is $100,000, give or take, so.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
And E3B's HR matter for Constable Precinct 5.
Constable Precinct 5 is requesting the approval to appoint and hire 2 part-time deputy constable positions into position 1183. So they already have the position, they have the part-time budget. They are just, it's standard for the constables to request Commissioners Court approval of their appointees. And so these two individuals have gone through the application process per policy, and so they're just requesting the appointment from court.
Okay. Everybody understand that?
So 1183 is a part-time position already, so they're going to use this money and split it between, instead of one part-timer, split it between two part-timers.
Yes, sir, I did confirm with them the intent to stay within their part-time budget for this year.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, I have a motion second. Any other discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item F, bids, RFPs, RFQs. F1 is authorization of quote proposal from SHI Government Solutions for managed engine service desk licenses, subscriptions for maintenance of equipment. John?
Good morning.
Morning.
So this item, the court has already approved for us to add a managed engine license so that the maintenance of equipment can come onto our system out at the jail. We found, though, that after we added it, we needed 10 more licenses. So the cost of this would be $1,259.58. This was not budgeted, but there are sufficient funds to cover that in our line items.
All right, any questions? It's what's pleasure of the court.
So move, oh, second.
All right, I have a motion second to approve the quote from SHI. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those pass.
All right, moving on to item G, contracts and interlocal agreements. G1 is authorization of operation and management lease with McLennan County Fair for the Expo Center, also known as the base. Judge, I think the recommendation would be to defer again unless you just want to pull with no action as we continue to work on it and then we can place it.
Yeah, let's see. So, they're getting close. And so I would, but just so it doesn't keep coming back up, when they're ready and send us something we can look at, then we'll put it on the agenda. That way we can share all the information we get with the commissioners before we get into the court. So I make a motion, we pull with no action.
Second.
All right,
And
everybody.
all we need is just the statement to pull with no action. So we're
Got
good.
it. You got it.
G2 is regarding the services agreement with ERI, Economic Research Institute, authorization of renewal for salary survey database subscription. Anna?
I'm requesting a continuation of our subscription with ERI, it's Economic Research Institute. This is the database that we use to pull private sector data for Waco salaries. We used it last year to compile our salary survey. It comprises 50% of the averages that we present to court. And then this is also the database that our consultants used for their salary survey when they were presented to the court the year before that. The cost, there's no change to the subscription cost, so it's the same as last year. And then it's set to expire here at the end of this month, so we're requesting it for an additional year beginning January 23rd.
Questions?
No, Anna and I had a long visit about this, and I certainly have no objection to moving forward. I think at a later time we can debate that 50% part, but that's okay. That's okay. My motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion. I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
All right, moving down to item G4, authorization of support and maintenance agreement with Excella Technologies for records management. John?
Yes, this is just a renewal for the maintenance contract for our scanner over at the archives. It is included in the budget, and it is recommended for approval.
All right, any questions for John?
So move.
All right, we have a motion. I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
G5 is regarding the software as a service agreement with Tyler Technologies, authorization of RMS data archive services quote for enterprise public safety. John?
Yes, this item would be an amendment to the Tyler contract. We have a data archive which contains all of our data from came over from the EDOC system. We found we needed a separate data archive for some of these things, so it would be an additional $1,900. It is notable that this cost would come from the forfeiture fund from the sheriff's office, not from the general fund.
Okay, I like
and
that.
has been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made second, any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
All right, moving down to item G8, authorization of maintenance and support agreement with DataWorks Plus LLC for County Sheriff Mugshot System. I like to call them Major Ives.
Yes, this is our mugshot system out at the county jail and the applicable software for it. There'll be a time where this software is no longer necessary, but until we have the full integration of Tyler, we'll need to maintain this mugshot software. The price is the same as it was in the previous year, so we would recommend that this be approved by the court.
All right, any questions for David?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made and second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
Right. Item G9 is regarding the Master Engineering and Consulting Services Agreement, work order number 1 with Lockwood, Andrews, and Newnham. Authorization of professional service invoice. This is on their water consulting services through October 2025. And just as a reminder, this is separate from the ARPA discussion. This is their help with the Central Texas Water Alliance and also the McLennan County Water Resources Group. This invoice totals $4,484.34 and is recommended for approval.
And my comment on it is for our benefit to have a translator that's an engineer and discussing the issues with Central Texas Water Alliance. I think McLennan County ought to have one in their corner because everyone else does. And to be sure that we're understanding what the proposals are or helping the decision-making and the planning. And so I support this, therefore I make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Motion made second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
G10 is authorization of agreement with Solid IT Networks for networking switch support. John?
Yes, this is just a yearly renewal for the maintenance and protection of all of our switches throughout the county. It's $68,118, and this was included in the budget.
All right, any questions?
Motion to approve.
All right, I have motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
G11 is regarding the agreement proposal with M. Evans Consulting, authorization of engineering services invoices for emergency action plans update for Tawakona Creek Dams, Castleman Creek Dams, and Mahoney Lake Dam. Amy?
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
This is just catching up the required emergency action plans that we were behind on updating. We need to do them every 5 years, so Michelle has been working with EQ. We have all the drafts are submitted. We sent in one tranche to them and got feedback, and we used that to modify the other two. So they're all in to TCEQ for final approval at this point in time.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? What's pleasure?
So what are we approving, Amy? Which, we approving these these three amounts here? The
Yep.
22,500, okay.
22,522.
That's the total?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have motion second, any other discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving down to item G15, authorization of interlocal cooperation agreement with the city of Belmead for road work. Commissioner Wilson?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had any agreement with Belmead that I can find in the past, but this is something that they reached out to me. They have 2.5 miles of gravel roads in all the streets in Belmead, and they have no blade. So I thought it was a good gesture to stick my hand out to them and offer that. We're going to be in that, when we're in that area, we can, out of 13 little streets, 2.5 miles, I think seven of them are dead ends, so they don't use those roads a lot, so they don't pave them. So we're going to, when we're over in that area, we're going to take our blade and take care of that for them, and they'll pay us the fee back for man hours and machine hours.
Motion to.
Motion to accept.
Second.
I have motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
All right, we can move down to item I, capital improvement and construction projects. I1 regarding the Justice of the Peace Precinct 5 Office Edition. I1A is authorization of professional service invoice with CP&Y doing business as STV. And then I1B is authorization of professional service invoice with Langerman Engineering. Ken or TJ?
Well, on the invoice for STV, it's in the amount of $797.69, and that's their monitoring of the work over at JP5.
And there's actually some work going on over there, so I'm pleased about that, yeah.
TJ?
And then we've also reviewed the invoice for the material testing from Langerman Engineering and found it to be appropriate as well. So we recommend it for approval.
That's I1B, I1A,
Yes,
and
sir.
I1B? Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. Judge, my motion be to approve both I1A and I1B.
Second.
All right, motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed.
All right, moving on to item I2 regarding Chapel Road Improvement Project. I2A is authorization of engineering surveying services invoice from Walker Partners. I2B is authorization of work change directive number 3 from Kasperian Underground doing business as H&B Contractors. And I2C is authorization of professional services invoice from Langerman Engineering. Amy?
Coming down the home stretch on Chapel Road, gentlemen.
Yeah.
We're getting very close. I think we'll be calling for a final walkthrough in the next week or two. The first one is just Walker's monthly draw for their supervision. The second one is a work order change directive that got missed. So we're just cleaning up paperwork and including that in there. And the third one is Langerman's testing, which all is looking very good.
All right. Any questions, comments? What's the pleasure, precinct 4?
Motion to approve.
All right, have a motion, I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
I3 is regarding the South Old Bruceville Road, a tributary to Prather Creek Culvert Replacement Project, agreement with BGE, authorization of November invoice. Amy?
This one should be our final invoice from BGE for South Old Bruceville. We should be done and done at this point in time.
Oh, motion to approve.
Have a motion, I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Under I4 regarding Patton Branch Road at Aquila Creek Low Water Crossing Culvert Replacement Project, we have 4 items here. I'll go ahead and read those in. I4A is authorization of professional services invoice from Langerman Engineering. I4B is authorization of invoice from BGE. I4C is authorization of application for payment number 1 from Knife River. I4D is authorization of application for payment number 2 from Knife River. Amy?
So if anybody's been up that way, they're moving gangbusters. Knife River's making great progress up there, so I'm expecting they'll probably be done ahead of schedule. The interesting story about this is that I got invoice number 2 and said, I don't recall seeing an invoice number 1, and it turned out they forgot to hit the send button, so that's why you're getting 2 invoices on the same.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. What's, any questions or comments from the court? Not, what's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Thank you.
All right, item I5 is authorization of jail camera system, phase 2, capital outlay project, and this goes along with agenda item J2A1. John?
Yes, this is phase 2 of the 3-phase project to replace the camera system at the jail. Now this one, as all of our cameras that you've seen so far in our budget has come in over budget because all the camera prices went up this year, unfortunately, since we quoted this. As you can see, the $282,000 was budgeted under capital outlay, but the new cost adjustment is $41,096.81. It was actually closer to $53,000, but we decided that we could take the visitation center and move that to phase 3 and then rebudget appropriately. So what we're asking for is a budget amendment of $41,096.81 for a total on this phase 2 of $323,096.81.
All right, any questions?
John?
Yes, sir.
If we're going to do the visitation center in phase 3, the money that we're saving now is likely going to escalate in another year's time. Isn't that correct? So we're not really, I mean, I guess we are saving it out of this, but this amount, but we're going to put it back in phase 3, right?
Well, the idea is to reassess whether or not we actually need it in the end.
Okay.
That visitation center is not used very much right now, so the sheriff's office wanted to come back and reevaluate that whole process
Okay.
of whether or not we include it or whether we, change the camera system up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense then. All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
All right, moving on to item J, budget amendments. J1's regarding the FY25 budget. We have nothing this week. Under J2 regarding the FY26 budget. J2A capital outlay. J2A1, this is what we just discussed regarding Highway 6 Jail, Jack Harwell Detention Center. It would be a transfer from general fund contingencies of $41,097 to capital outlay. And you want to do there's only two more, Judge. You want to do them together?
Yeah, go ahead.
And Heather's available in case there are any questions, but J2B is Permanent Improvement Fund, Fund 401, transfer from contingencies in the Permanent Improvement Fund totaling $14,276 for a quote from United Refrigeration for work on an AC unit at the 25th Street building. And then J2C is a 2019 Certificates of Obligation Permanent Improvement Fund, transfer from contingencies in the Permanent Improvement Fund totaling $3,776 for costs related to a change order with Knife River for Patton Branch Road, which was approved by the court on December the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
So we've already approved J2A2, so it would just be J2A1, J2B, and J2C.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Have nothing under item K this week. Under item L, grant proposals. L1 is our ARPA discussion. L1A is regarding the professional services agreement with Forvis Mazars, authorization of grant management services invoice through November. This invoice totals $1,632.91, has been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
L1B is regarding the McLennan County ARPA HVAC renovation project agreement with Lockridge Priest, authorization of pay application number 12. Ken?
Pay application number 12 is in the amount of $326,513.61. I shared this with TJ and Dustin. I believe we're all in agreement and recommend approval for payment.
All right, any questions?
Motion to approve, Judge.
All right, I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
L1C is authorization of addendum to beneficiary agreement with Leroy Tours Gerald Water Supply Corporation. And so what this does, this amends Exhibit C of the agreement, and it properly states the scope of work that will be completed by December 31st, 2026 to fit in with the ARPA guidelines. So it removes some of the construction phase and lays out the preliminary design, final design, bidding, the prevention plan, geotech services, and then also the program administration through the USDA. So it is recommended for approval.
All right, any questions or comments?
I think the only comment I had that I've had previously is when we offer these amendments like this, are we putting ourselves in jeopardy of projects not being completed? And I think we've been told that's not the case. So I certainly hope that's not the case, so.
Right, and I think, there's a lot, as you can see, they're progressing on to final design and into those bidding phases. And I will say that Tom Ray, LAN, they are requesting updates by the end of this month from all the ARPA water entities. And so in February, we should have a good update and give y'all a good status update on all those projects as well.
Thank you. Motion to approve L1C, Judge.
Second.
Motion made second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
All right, moving down to item M, Department Office Specific Requests. M1 is Human Resources, authorization of salary survey, Pierre County participant list. Anna?
So Here, I'm just presenting a list of proposed agencies for our salary survey. The list of agencies, these are public entities that make up the other 50% of the salary survey I just touched on in the previous agenda item. And the only reason we reviewed this is the court wanted to add an additional factor in the selection process for these agencies. So we had to use GDP, the gross domestic product of each county, and population size. And the additional factor here is taxable value. And so computing that in, these are the proposed agencies. And the method I used was just ranking the counties. These are all reports available through public entities, reporting agencies. Ranked them, picked out 10, made McLennan County the median. And so what you're looking at there are the 5 entities for either side of the county. This combined with the private sector data is what HR uses to create the salary survey that we present to budget. That is just, again, a peripheral tool that we present to the county in their decision to help them in their decision-making during budget.
All right, and I appreciate us putting this on the work list here to start working on early instead of getting down into the time. So we are early.
It does take us, it takes usually a team of 2 to 3 HR representatives to
Yeah.
compile the information once we receive it from the other agencies. And it takes us about 3 months because it's not someone sitting down doing it an entire day. They're doing their daily functions, and when they have time, they're doing this project.
Right. And I don't have any particular issue with this list or anything. I do know, as you do, that the sheriff's department kind of looks at it different, and so I want some time to look at what they have. But I'm gonna ask for a motion to defer, or I'm gonna give a motion to defer, but and Commissioner Smith and I have kind of talked about this. All this information's important. And we'll look at everything. If Sheriff's Department's got something they want to pitch out there, we'll look at it, just like we would from HR. But us making a decision on what salary levels and all, it's good to have guides and resources, but what it comes down to is how it affects tax rate and what our budget looks like. An example might be that in the salary surveys, or we come to an assumption that we're paying, a little higher, but our turnover's high. Then, you don't want to cut the salary because that may be driving the turnover. And y'all do a good job, and so does all the departments, on determining why somebody leaves, why they leave. But I'm not looking at any model to drive my decision. I'm looking at the models to help me make a decision, but it's just part of the overall things that we look at, and you know that. And so I would like, when there's a department that says, well, these peer cities, if you drill down and look at the law enforcement side, it's different. And I don't mind them putting together something that I can look at. I got to be able to understand it. Don't make it too fancy.
Sorry.
David. But make it where we can look at it. And so I'd ask that, I'd make a motion, we defer, and I'd ask Dustin to drive that process of talking to these different departments and HR, so they can be sure they're sharing their thoughts with each other. But come to the end of the day, we're going to make our decision based on other factors as well.
And you put it well, because at the end of the day, everything that's presented is useful. It should be, or you wouldn't be presenting it, right?
I hope so.
But also, at the end of that next day, it's gonna, what it all comes down to is what it does to that tax rate.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate all the information from the sheriff's office, from HR, to help us in making that decision.
I guess my question, Judge, would be, and Anna and I have talked about this at length, and I think I caused some of the consternation on her part with it, but allowing her to use these counties to gather the information isn't necessarily going to affect what David brings to us or any other department brings to us as far as what they might look at. That's just one bit of the information that she gathers so that she's ready when we ask for it to present the information.
Right.
And I'm not sure how deferring this affects her part of it. Does that make sense?
It does, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that it does affect it, but it allows, I'd like to know what the differences are from any major department that has 40% of the employee population, how they feel about it. Now, we may not agree with what they come up with, but it's just a piece of information to be sure.
So we're asking them to look at this peer group here, this.
They've looked at it.
Proposed agencies, and to present us with what they think.
Well, hopefully what they would do is sit down and, we're all on one team and be sure both entities understand why a certain county was picked or not picked, or what big variance there is between, what the law enforcement piece of overall county population, employee population affects, just to be able to look at it. Like I say, it's not gonna drive a decision.
No.
And we heard last year during the budget session, the disagreement, but unfortunately, it was right during the budgeting process, and there wasn't time to.
No, we need it early.
Need it, and,
I guess my question is, if they come with their set of counties, which is fine, why do we not want Anna to have her set of counties?
we have hers.
Well, not if we don't approve this.
I'm not saying we're not gonna approve it. I wanna see if there's a disagreement,
Okay.
I wanna see what it is now. And we may very well say, we're not gonna look at the sheriff's department's
I think
idea
Commissioner
about
Smith,
it.
you're trying to be considerate of our time. What we have done to just ensure that we do meet the court's expectations on when we share this information with you, we have already reached out to the counties, both current and proposed, to get the data. So we've already gotten some of the data, and once the court
You're
decides.
just holding it.
We're holding it.
That makes sense.
And once the court, gives direction and an
So then
approval, then we'll actually start the work. So we are trying to get ahead of
Okay,
it.
so moving forward then, you would have the data, but it would be up to us to say we want to use the data from these counties, or not use the data from these counties.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay, Judge, I'm okay with it.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
I made a motion to defer.
I'll second it.
All right, that motion is second. Any other discussion? And by the way, my only discussion point would be, I want this to happen pretty quick. And
And just talking with the sheriff's department, and looking at some of the counties they put in, it actually lowers their pay.
yeah,
So they're being transparent too. They just think it just needs to be the same way every time, kind of gives them.
I'll look at anybody's deal, but at the bottom, at the end of the day, the other factors may be considered, no matter whether we adopt okay, we're gonna look at these only. And then we get down to the lick log, and economic environment spooks us, or we have no turnover, or very little, or we have a lot of all those factors too come into situation. And then also, what's our revenue, how does it affect the tax rate that we have? Are we, if we go in to the budgeting process with our unassigned fund balance lower than it has been and what we agreed that it ought to be, I want to figure out how to put money back in there and bring it back. Because going back before you and I came to this court, the court kept eating into they were broke.
Yes, sir.
I came in with a gift of a $9 million negative budget.
I understand.
And we had very little unassigned fund balance, and therefore, we were scared to borrow money because they want a bond rating, and we were scared to know what it was.
If we had one.
Yeah. Might not even be one. So you don't ever want to put a bad bond rating out there. So there's consequences to every one of the moves that we make during the budgeting process.
Yeah. I agree 100%, and I think what Commissioner said over here, and what you're saying, and I'm sure Commissioner Wilson agrees. At the end of the day, it's, do we have the money? Do we have the money available? That's the
Yeah.
end of the day. Do we have it? And those are the numbers we look for, but unfortunately, we won't have those till later on.
Yeah.
But we got to know that.
When it comes to the tax rate or tax increase, because, you know, back in the day, people were like, hey, I'll support you if you'll agree to sign this, and you'll never raise taxes.
Yeah.
You know, which was ludicrous.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, nobody ever did it.
They wouldn't sign the same agreement that says less services.
Correct. But
I don't want that
what I'm
much
getting
public
at
safety.
is, we have to always be careful, because I would never approve a tax increase based solely to fund pay increases.
Yeah.
Could never do that.
Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, the only, and I don't know that it's unknown, I guess it affects us for this next year. The only thing that came out of Austin this last time around is this business, business personal tax, or what was business something tax, that it went from 5,000 to what, 125,000 or something like that. So I don't know how that's going to affect us. We just don't have numbers.
Well, and talking about what comes out of Austin, more of it is negative for the running a county business
Well,
and
there's a
positive.
real push to limit the amount at
Our control.
3.2
Yeah.
2 point something.
Yeah, and so, if we don't go into it with more unassigned fund balance, more hay in the barn than another county, because I think it's gonna go bad against the counties. And there's gonna be some of them that go broke real quick, because they don't have the reserves. Ideally, we're not the first one to go broke.
I sure hope not.
That there'll be enough of them in a nosedive that the legislation will change it, says, oh, we overreacted. Or they may prove out to be right. I doubt it. I've been looking at this stuff a long time. And,
Well, one thing they've proven to me that stands true every year is I was always told that, you know, it runs downhill.
Yeah.
But it runs uphill too, because they get us every year on some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's gonna continue.
I would make one other comment, and everybody, I'm not making anything, and I'm just as guilty as everyone else, or innocent as everyone else, is talking about unassigned fund balance. Every time we approve something that wasn't in the budget, it comes out of that unassigned fund balance, to carry over to the end of the year.
Yeah.
We need to be cognizant of what we're doing.
yeah. Well, and I've mentioned to several department heads, and if I hadn't mentioned it to every one of you, I hope you're listening, that you have an opportunity to keep the future bright by not overspending, justify every expense, and if it turns out that you don't need all the money that you have, that boosts the unassigned fund balance. It gives us more confidence when to raise benefits and salaries and those kind of things. If everybody's a part of making that a triple system or a challenge, financial challenge system, we're gonna forget generosity and all those other things, that it's really down to, we gotta survive. So.
Yes, sir. So we have a.
You have a
I
motion.
call for the vote. Can I?
So I made the motion, you second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
All right, Dustin.
M2 is purchasing approval of revised McLennan County purchasing policies and procedures. Ken?
I don't know if y'all have had an opportunity to go through this, but I'll kind of hit a few of the high points on this. For the most part, I'm trying to deal with, I'll read one of the first changes here. We're not trying to stop anything that's an emergency purchase. And again, emergency purchase to us is if you're broken down on the side of the road, you need help right now, we're going to accommodate that. At the same time, I think every department should have more than one person that can approve requisitions. A lot of times an emergency happens because only one person can do a requisition and they're not there. Another section that I added on page 4, we haven't really talked much about change orders in either contracts or purchases. But when you're doing a change order, going up, we can only go up 25%. And if we're coming down, by statute, we can only come down 18%, or unless the change order is below $50,000, expressly delegated by court order. But we haven't really talked about sole source procurement, but sole source procurement, we don't have that come up a lot, but it does come up because we're asked, and I'll tell them, no, that doesn't. But, you know, the items that are sole source are items, you can only get one source in items that is patent, monopoly controlled, or unique, and compatibility with other county equipment. So, I mean, I wanted to share that in the policy. One of our big issues is that we have a lot of orders taking place that aren't covered by a purchase order. And I'm trying to deal with that in this policy by the court recognizing it when we have orders that go through without a purchase order. And they may have a number, but they're adding items to it that never were on the original order, so it ups the whole value of that purchase order. So we're talking about change order changes. In our past, when a purchase was made without a purchase order, we would bring to the court for ratification. Along the way, one of our auditors did away with that, but I would like to bring that back so the court can see some of this that's going on. We combat it on a day-to-day basis, and we don't get a lot of help in that regards from the departments that seem to be doing that a lot. So I would like to, whenever we issue an order for whatever it is, we'll deal with that. But if it comes out, and we're doing an order for one item, and it comes back with 30, I don't think that was meeting what we need to be doing, and nor can we keep up. You know, we have budget checking that's making sure the money that you have in your budget is there. Whenever you're doing this, we can't tell you at any one point in time how much money you have left in your budget because you're overspending on so many orders. So when that comes up, we would like to cancel the original order, have the department put in a new requisition, which will now be ratified by the court for us to process. It will refer back to the original purchase order, and then we'll issue the new purchase order against what actually was purchased.
So is this pertaining to departments or other projects?
Basically just day-to-day business.
Of county?
Yes.
In other words,
One question I had, Ken, on that, looking at it was, I think we have I don't know if it's a policy or at least a goal of paying invoices within a certain number of days, like 30 days or something like that.
That's in here.
That's what I thought. Well, is that going to create a problem putting us past that if that obligation is out there to that third party to pay them?
I don't think it will, because a lot of times when this process that we're doing is being done, they already have the invoice.
Okay.
So the invoice will be here. We're just going to
It's not going to put us in violation of our own policy. Okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Right. So dealing with that, and again, just as you're saying, county will comply with prompt payment laws. Invoices shall be paid within 30 days of receipt of goods and services. We actually didn't really have that in the purchasing policy, but Francis added that, which I should point out, going through this policy, it wasn't just me working on this.
Yeah, I see you got a team here.
Yeah,
I
that's
did. I
good.
put a team together to go through and let's talk about the issues that we're having and let's see if we can have the court help us rectify some of these situations.
Good, I like that.
Let me see. We come back and strengthen some of our issues that we would have with federal purchases. I've always dealt with it on a one-to-one individual deal, but now I've actually added more information in here about dealing with federal grants and federal purchases and the SAM.gov exclusions and stuff like that. Let's see. And that, I think I've basically covered most of what the issues are. When I did this revise the policy back in September, I was really just trying to take care of the $100,000 increase in the bidding limits. When I got to looking at it, it seemed like there was so much more that needed to be rectified and clarified. I did add a few things. There are a few items that we do without purchase orders, and I have a listing of those. And I added a few more that I thought needed to be included in that list. Uniforms, towing. We've never issued POs on advertisements. And then the roadside cleanup. Those are all under contractual agreements. So the payments are already more or less set. So I didn't feel like we needed to issue a purchase order for that. But I appreciate the court's consideration.
And one consideration in adopting this policy is that we agreed to, without having to bring the policy back to us, that when the auditor's office change, that you'll change that address.
Yeah, and I actually have both of them in here, but I'll eliminate the 214.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
North Fourth.
Okay.
So, anyway, that's it. And I even, after we made our changes, I had Mike review it, and he had one small change to it, and we made that change, and so I don't know if Dustin, do you have anything you might want to share? You were part of this deal too.
No, I think it looks really good and cleans a lot of things up. So I think it's good.
Okay. All right.
Judge, motion to approve the revisions to the purchasing policies and procedures, and also allow purchasing without having to come back to the court to change the address for auditors at the appropriate time.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Tell the team.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, Dustin.
All right, moving on to item N2 regarding the Local Provider Participation Fund, the LPPF. N2A is authorization of intergovernmental transfers of funds under the Graduate Medical Education, the GME program. And then N2B is regarding an IGT under the Aligning Technology by Linking Interoperable Systems for Client Health Outcomes program, the ATLAS program. Heather?
Yes, so the first is our IGT request for the GME Federal Fiscal Year 26. This is the first half advanced IGT request. It has a due date of Monday, January 12th and a settlement date of January 13th. They revised the amount this morning to $172,542.60, but of course we'll request to IGT up to the balance on the day of the transfer. You want to stop with that one, Judge, or you want me to keep going?
Keep going.
The second one is for recording purposes. let's see, on December 16th, we approved to ratify an IGT for the Atlas State Fiscal Year 26 first round. It had a due date of December 5th and a settlement date of January 2nd. And then on December 29th, AHCB requested that transfer be canceled. So just for recording purposes, letting the court know, be aware that those funds were never transferred, never paid out from the LPPF for the Atlas program for that IGT.
All right, thank you. Any questions? If not, I'll make a motion to approve up to the balance in the LPPF account on the day of the IGT. And also a motion to, under N2B, a motion to accept her report for recording purposes.
Second.
Motion made, second, any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Thank you.
Moving on to item O, Americans with Disabilities Compliance Project. O1 is authorization of professional service invoice with CPNY doing business as STV. This is the ADA study report for October. It totals $74. And then O2 is authorization of professional service invoice with CPNY. This is on the records building ADA study. It totals $2,471.25. And both have been reviewed and are recommended for approval.
Move to approve both O1 and O2.
All right, I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Right, moving on to P, the McLennan County Downtown Jail Remodel Project. P2 is regarding the downtown jail remodel for courtrooms and office space, agreement with Brinkley Sergeant Washington, authorization of invoice number 34. This invoice totals $44,628.21 and is recommended for approval.
All right, any questions?
Motion to approve invoice number 34 from BSW.
Second.
I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
And then P3 is regarding McLennan County Downtown Jail Remodel Professional Services Agreement with Langerman Engineering, authorization of invoice. This invoice is for construction materials testing and totals $8,195. It's been reviewed and recommended for approval.
Okay, I move we approve that.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? Other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Thank y'all. I know we did a lot of skipping around. So Judge, if we just want to confirm that we did hit all the action items.
We did. We did.
Right.
All right, anything else to come forward this exciting day in court? All right, and we stand adjourned.